Welcome back to the Flower Garden. My name is Lisa, and for today's Mindset Monday video, I wanted to talk about the goblin living in your brain and what you can do to peacefully live with it. So there's a goblin in your brain, let's just accept this, and the goblin can be identified as a very loud voice in your brain that is just constantly spewing self-doubt, negativity at you, and it is just doing that on a daily basis. If your goblin is being real loud, then that means you've got a pretty rowdy goblin, and we'll talk about how to manage that. Eckhart Tolle likes to call the goblin the ego. I like to call it what it is. It's a goblin. A goblin who is very protective and very loud. Not the best roommate. So, you might be asking, Lisa, how did this goblin get in my brain? Glad you asked. Before we come to this earth, our souls sign a contract, a metaphysical contract that says you agree to live with a goblin in your brain, along with your loving, eternal light of consciousness. Your soul signed the contract, bada bing, bada boom, there's a goblin. However, part of the contract is that you are still living with your consciousness. So your consciousness, which is made of light and love, is still there. It's just that you have this very gross, awful roommate. It just so happens that your consciousness oftentimes gets muffled by the goblin, so you have a harder time feeling that peace and that happiness that is already within you. So our job, in order to try and live a more peaceful, happier life, is to tame the goblin as much as we can and let that light shine through. And that way we can live from our hearts and not from the awful motivations of the goblin who makes you eat Hot Pockets at 3 a.m. in the morning. Just me? No? Okay. The next question you may have is, why does it have so many opinions? Why does the goblin have so many opinions? Well, the goblin's only purpose in this life is to survive. And you are the goblin's means of survival. So of course, it's going to prevent you from doing anything that has any level of risk. And this includes things like moving to a new place, going to university, taking new business opportunities, asking out your crush. Whenever these types of situations arise, the goblin will start to feed you insecurities and doubts and fears and judgments and other negative thoughts to steer you away from taking the leap. However, the thing is, we constantly overcome the goblin. We move to new places, we go to school, we advance our careers, and sometimes we ask out our crush. So you're not completely powerless and you're not completely in the grips of the goblin, but I'm sure you've made plenty of decisions based on the goblin's opinion. Frankly, I am sure that you are tired of listening to the goblin and constantly making decisions based on the goblin's reactions. Now you may be asking, why is it so loud? Well, like I said, the goblin likes to be heard, and in order to be heard, it needs to be loud. But another reason that your goblin might be so loud is that you might have a very loud goblin that you have not done any work to quiet. So if you've done no work to quiet your goblin, it's gonna be real loud. You see, the goblin becomes reactive and starts feeding you negative thoughts, and you have a choice. You can either attach to its reaction and assume that it's coming from a place that is of your own thoughts, your own consciousness, or you can recognize the reaction as that of the goblins, detach from it, and laugh it off. Because when you do that, you take the power away from the goblin and you say, Goblin, your overreaction to things and your fear, that ain't me. I know that you are trying to protect me, and I know that that is your entire purpose in this world, but I'm good. I got this covered, Goblin. Thanks. So don't feed it. Don't. especially not after midnight. So now that you know a little bit about the goblin, you may be wondering, if I can't get rid of the goblin, how do I live with it? Here's the trick. You have to learn to identify the goblin when it's being reactive and feeding you negative thoughts, and dissociate and choose your new thoughts and your new beliefs. And if you haven't watched my video about shifting your beliefs and rewriting your belief systems, click on it right here. Make sure you turn on that notification bell, because my next video, I'll be talking about what happens behind the curtain when you start manifesting your desires. If you found this video helpful, make sure you check out my other videos right here that talk about law of attraction, the soul journey, and shifting your mindset. I hope this helped, and until my next video, I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a good day. Love ya. Bye.